how's it going? Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're making bunting. And that's it. 4 different designs done 2 different ways. 2 will be free-handed with puffy paint or acrylics, and then the other 2 will be carved Linocut prints. During our studio redesign, we made this bunting. Oopsie. But we barely got to show it, and we didn't even talk about it, even though it was one of the most peaceful moments of that whole project. It was just so simple and satisfying, and I had so much fun. I want to make more. So today we're going to do just that, some relaxed, fun, cozy crafting time. But first, we need to make this studio extra comfy cozy. Oh, that was so smooth. Now that everything's cozier, it is time to begin sketching. I'm thinking of 4 different designs and shapes. 1, wintry, cozy berry vibes. 1, more celestial themed with sun and moon motifs. 1, just more fantasy inspired, like these guys. And then 1 with snakes, because I like snakes. Since 2 of these sketches will be Linocut designs, they will be a bit more finalized since they're going to become stamps. The 2 with puffy paint, however, are going to be a bit more loose, more like guidelines. Since I'm going to be freehanding them a bunch of times, they're more likely to change, so we don't want them to be too complicated or detailed. So let's get to drawing. Okay, we have our rough sketches. The snakes and the celestial theme will be Linocut designs, and then the winter berries and the fantasy scribbles will be freehand. I really like how these turned out. It was not my intention to put suns and moons on more than one design. It just sort of happened, but it did give me an idea. The snake bunting will now have 2 designs. Their names are Sol and Luna, 1 on each side of the flag. Now we're taking the Linocut designs and redrawing them at a larger size to fit our flags. I already measured out our stencil for the snake bunting. So that is 2 out of 4 stencils complete. This one was from our original bunting. We're cutting our stencils out of Sketchbook Backing. It's a really nice, sturdy material if you don't mind having a bunch of backless sketchbooks. But once these designs are finalized, we can then transfer them onto tracing paper, which will allow us to transfer the design onto our linoleum blocks for carving. So we're just going to get back to drawing and then we will check back in. Also, if you would like these designs or the stencil templates, they will be up on our Patreon. Link is in the description. There's a lot of wax in there.
Do we need to take some out?
With what?
Paper towel.
You want to stick a paper towel next to the open flame?
Yeah, that'll be fine. There. That's perfect. Now it's bright again. Piece of cake.
Don't do it. No.
I don't think he has enough airflow.
There. I don't know what to do with this onion ring of wax. Are you good now? I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. Such a tiny thing. The sketches are finally on the linoleum. All of our stencils for our flag shapes have been cut. We are all ready to begin carving. That took a little bit longer than expected. I forgot how time-consuming tracing paper transfers can be. We ended up making a little DIY light table using some bricks and a pane of glass and a light source, all of which we just had lying around. And we did this for the snake designs, but not for the sun and moon design. Because when you transfer a design using tracing paper, you usually just lay the tracing paper down over the sketch and then trace the image. And then to transfer the design onto another surface, you flip the tracing paper over and trace on the back. But this also flips your original image. Now, for symmetrical designs, like our sun and moon, that isn't really an issue. But if you want your original design to face the direction that you originally drew it in, you have to then flip the tracing paper over again and draw the design for a third time. Basically, you just need to have fresh graphite on whichever side you want the design to touch. Or to save yourself some time and hand pain, you can just flip the original sketch and trace the mirrored version using a light table or a bright enough window. Now, I have not done Linocut in like 12 years, and it was one time in high school. But this is cozy crafting, so we are not going to stress. We are going to take our time and have fun. So let's do this. We're going to have fun. The Linocut is done and my hand hurts. The gray linoleum was a lot tougher and slipperier than the pink Speedball Easy Carve, but they look great, and I didn't accidentally end up cutting either of the snakes in half, so. And I used 2 different linoleums just to try them out, just to see how either felt, because I don't have a lot of experience with carving linoleum. So that's the only reason why I used 2 different ones. Now it is time to move on to the flags themselves. We like to use velvet for our bunting. Not sure it's the best material for this purpose, but we really like it. I think some other fabrics to use are cotton, linen, or canvas, especially if it's going outside. Now we've already chosen all of our colors for our bunting. Now we are going to dye our ropes, and then we are going to cut out all of our flag shapes with our stencils. The flags are all cut out. We cut out 2 versions of each color, one with flappies and one without flappies. And that is because they are going to glue together back to back, and the flaps are going to fold over the ropes to anchor them in place. You'll see it. Now it is finally time to move on to what I hope is going to be the most cozy part of this video, the designs. First, we're going to start with the puffy paint, and then we're going to move on to the Linocut prints. So let's do it. All of the designs are finished. They look amazing. I am pleasantly surprised with how well the Linocut prints turned out on the velvet. We were just a teeny bit nervous. We did end up switching inks. We initially planned on using screen printing ink since it's designed for fabrics and we thought it would work best with the velvet. But after a few tests, we realized it just wasn't a great fit for our materials. It was too liquidy and thin and didn't adhere well to the velvet. So we switched to actual Linocut block printing ink, which duh, it worked a lot better. It was a lot thicker and adhered more to the pile of the velvet. I don't know if this is washable though, so if you're planning on doing Linocut prints on fabric and wanting to wash them and wear them often, I don't know if this is the best material for that. I think the screen printing ink is better for that, but it all depends on what your project is. Also, remember my long-winded explanation about trying to prevent the design from being mirrored with the tracing paper? Well, it didn't matter. The design on the velvet still ended up reversed. And that is because I forgot that stamping the Linocut also flips the image. So it's mirrored, it's fine, it looks great. I still love how they turned out. Yeah, ignore everything I said before though. But now it is time to braid our rope and glue everything together in our final assembly. If you have a sewing machine or are more skilled in the art of sewing, you could sew these together and it'd probably look a lot cooler, but I'm not that skilled. So it is ye olde hot glue gun for us. Then our bunting will be complete. Final assembly starts now. Pew, pew. The bunting is done and they look so good. I'm really happy with how they all turned out and we're really happy that we got to do this project. It was a lot of fun just drawing, playing with different designs and materials. If you like this video, please consider leaving us a like or subscribe or leave us a comment and let us know which bunting or design was your favorite and what you thought of this project as a whole with the whole cozy crafting vibes. If you want to see more, if you want to see less, if you want me to draw more, let us know. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for your continued support. It truly means the world to us. Also, just a reminder, the stencil shapes and designs for the bunting are going to be put up on our Patreon. If you would like to check it out or join, link is in the description below. That's it for now. Thank you so much for being here. We really hope you enjoyed this project and had fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye.